Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, boundary change proposals for Fargo schools has parents up in arms.
Safe haven locations are a lifeline for abandoned babies.
The weather outside, frightful. Is snow on the way? Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Not everyone's happy with the latest proposed boundary changes within the Fargo School District. Last night, the school board approved on first reading, shifting as many as 40 Bennett Elementary students to Centennial. As
Valley News Team's J.C. Dodd discovered, some parents feel the board isn't meeting their kids' needs.
The proposed boundary change that would affect families in the houses behind me is in an effort to relieve pressure off of the district's largest elementary school. Bennett Elementary is in the fastest growing part of the city. The boundary changes are aimed at mitigating current overcrowding.
All their friends are going to get mixed up because if they're on the wrong side of the line or the street.
Fargo parent Jacqueline Davis says now is not the right time to be moving elementary students to a different school.
They're going to be going to a different school, and so all those friendships are going to be split up. And
Davis says she thinks as South Fargo continues to grow, the problem is just going to get worse. And that's something the district agrees with, and is the main reason why they're doing what they're doing. Someone on the VNL Facebook says when it comes to boundary changes, it's just something you need to accept. That doesn't sit well with Davis.
Maybe just not worry about boundary changes right now because so much has changed with the pandemic and everything, people going to private schools. I just don't think it makes sense to move like a handful of students, now versus in a couple years or whatever.
In South Fargo, J.C. Dodd, Valley News Live.
Again, the first reading of that proposed change was passed by the school board yesterday. In 2 weeks, the board will hear public input.
Well, it's been a rainy day in the Red River Valley, and those raindrops, unfortunately, might turn to snow soon. Hutch, when can we expect those first flakes of the year?
Well, it's going to be a little while yet. We're watching for a chance on Halloween, and we'll have much more on that here in a few moments. But right now, we're dealing with squeegeable moisture as we head into the evening. The rainfall continues on the radar from the Red River Valley counties and southeast North Dakota into Lakes Country. We did have some rumbles of thunder north of St. Cloud heading in toward that Brainerd area a little bit earlier this afternoon. But for now, the heaviest of the rain is found right here in the northern Red River Valley and Marshall County, Minnesota, straight down into Richland County. And look at the yellows here. That's some more heavy rainfall that extends from Sisseton right up the I-29 corridor through Richland County, Sargent and Ransom County, and of course southern parts of Cass County as well. This extends all the way to the international border from the Kennedy and Hallock area right into Roseau County and points south, and it's very slowly working eastward. It's leaving behind several tenths of an inch of rain in the areas of dark blue. We have 3/10 to 6/10 of an inch, and if you see the greens there, an inch or more estimated by Doppler radar. Here's a look at those temperatures. 40s for almost all of us. It's cooler east. So a couple more measurements for you as we approach that 1 inch mark in the Brampton area. Oaks at 84 hundredths and Lisbon 9/10 of an inch of rain. Tonight, rainy, and it continues to stay rain, Mike. The snow chances are not here yet. That's a good thing. We have time, but it will have weather that impacts trick-or-treaters, and I'll tell you how in a minute.
All right. Thanks, Hutch.
Signs have been posted on various buildings throughout the metro that say it's a Baby Safe Haven approved location. What do they mean? North Dakota's Baby Safe Haven program has been around since 2000. In 2019, lawmakers expanded the amount of people and places that could take part in it.
I mean, obviously these things don't happen on a day-to-day basis where people are abandoning infants, but there are those times where someone might just be in a bad position or predicament where they are no longer able to care for that infant, and certainly we then would want to help that person out.
North Dakota law states that babies abandoned must be under 1 year old. They cannot be harmed, and they must be dropped off with an on-duty staff member at a safe haven location. Sheriff Johnner also says all of his deputies and staff have gone through training on this program. So far have not had to take in any infants, and both Fargo and West Fargo Police, as well as the Red River Dispatch Center, say that they haven't had to either.
The beat truck driver that died in a crash over the weekend is 73-year-old Robert Lutovsky of Grand Forks. That crash happened Saturday near Reynolds. The cause is still under investigation, but Highway Patrol says the truck crashed into a ditch, struck an approach, and caught on fire. The driver died before help could arrive. More than 600 children in foster care in Minnesota are waiting for adoption. The Celebrate Adoption Circus of the Heart event honors adoptive families and provides information to anyone considering adoption. Virtual events start on Monday. They run all week. Activities will include a dance party, cooking challenge, presentations, and more. You can register on the Minnesota Adopts Facebook page or find more information about adoption at county and tribal social service agencies, Minnesota Adopt, and the DHS website.
This has been a big day for an NDSU student as she was surprised in class with a $5,000 scholarship. Sophomore Brianne Sullivan is a member of the Air National Guard studying nursing. Well, today she received the Sanford Health Military and Veteran Scholarship. Sanford's head of Military and Veteran Affairs, Paul Weckman, says that Sullivan was the trifecta applicant, saying not only is she a model service member and scholar with a 4.0 average, but she's also going into healthcare.
I plan to do a lot of schooling, so I know that even past the first degree it's gonna get expensive, so even down the road it will help with that too. So
the Sanford Health Military and Veteran Scholarship is awarded to any veteran, Guard, Reserve, or active duty military service member who has demonstrated leadership and commitment in his or her community.
Minnesota is leading the nation for adults who've gotten their COVID boosters. The CDC says roughly 10% of Minnesota adults have received the booster, which puts them in third behind Alaska and Vermont. All Minnesotans who received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine are recommended to get a booster shot. The only stipulation is that 2 months have passed since their initial shot. Those who initially received Moderna or Pfizer can get a booster if they're older than 65 or over 18 and immunocompromised or living and working in certain conditions. The Department of Health says Minnesota COVID cases increased by more than 6,500 over the weekend.
Education Minnesota is reporting that child-sized doses of the COVID vaccine may be available in Minnesota next week. And the group's president is urging state and school leaders to vaccinate all school-aged children. Denise Specht endorses the Pfizer vaccine for children 5 to 11 years old, saying vaccination is the best way for parents to protect their children. She's pushing state and local leaders to make vaccines available to all students. The decision by the FDA advisory panel and the USDA moves the process toward full approval of the vaccine for younger children.
Today is the first day of school for students attending Horace High School. 225 freshmen and sophomores marched into the newly constructed halls this morning. Due to enrollment numbers, some staff will be shared by both Horace and Cheyenne High Schools. It was supposed to open back in August, but construction was delayed. 9th and 10th grade students went to Heritage until Horace High was deemed ready.
A Minnesota egg producer is set to settle a lawsuit with eggs. Sparebow Farms of Litchfield was accused of price gouging during the pandemic, and their fine, 1 million eggs, which will be donated to the Minnesota nonprofits. The lawsuit, which was filed in September, accused Sparebow of tripling egg prices during the peacetime emergency, which was illegal. Minnesota is one of only 11 states without a law banning price gouging. The executive order prohibiting that was just temporary. Later on Valley News Live at 6, new technology could get you through security checkpoints faster.
And it was a soggy day across the valley. This view from the Dakota Magic Casino is showing the wind and showers combining to keep things damp across most of the area. Those showers will continue for many of us, and we'll update you on what you can expect for Halloween this weekend. Coming up next.